Neil, here comes Ted, a horse you've had a fair bit to do with this stage of his career. What did you make of his first up run?
Yeah, it was very good. He was a little bit unfortunate. It wasn't that he jumped slow. He jumped okay with him, but the horse on the inside or the outside just came out and put him off his game for a stride, and he just kind of like lost touch with the field. And I suppose first up, then I was just thinking about giving him an education and getting him to hit the line. And he did that very, very encouragingly, and he ran a good third. So yeah, he's definitely going to improve off that, and he's a nice type.
And how much do you think he will have learned from that experience?
He'll definitely have learned from it. Like I always thought that he was going to need a run or two to kind of get himself right to show something in a race. But he's always been a nice horse. Like I've been on him from day one. I've done a lot of work with him. He was always, because he was young, he was still a bit weak and he was still a little bit immature. It's good that David's given, since last season, plenty of time to mature and strengthen up. So, he showed that in his first run this season, and hopefully the patience and everything else comes together and he keeps improving.
Could he win over 1,000, or the way that he finished off and the way that he's bred, is he a horse that we're more going to look out for over a bit further?
Look, I always thought that he's going to be better when he goes 1,200 plus, but he ran such a good race and he made up such amount of ground last time that I just suggested to David, look, he's ran so good over 1,000, just keep him at 1,000 from the next run, and then we'll decide about a plan after. But he's got a good draw. If he steps away nicely and can keep in touch with the field a bit closer, I don't see why he can't close off and be good enough to win over 1,000.
Regan, Mr. Wealth, last start winner. What were your thoughts on that performance?
Yeah, it was a really good performance. His track work and trials indicated going into that race that he was going to be very competitive, and good to see him go to the races and show us what he's been showing us in his track work and get the win. So I think it was a nice win, and he's only going to take improvement from that run. And I'm going in with confidence on Saturday.
He's got 9 pounds more to carry this time around. Is he good enough to carry the extra weight and beat these horses?
Look, he's a big, strong horse. Obviously, he's got 9 pounds extra, but he also strips fitter from that first up run. So I think naturally there's improvement off that first up run, and he's drawn a nice barrier in gate 6, and if he gets a nice run in transit and things work out, it doesn't look a stronger race than last time. So I think he'll be thereabouts again.
You've ridden him in his track work since then. Does he feel like an improved horse?
Yeah, most definitely. As I said, he strips fitter. If he feels well, definitely hasn't gone backwards. I think if anything, he's gone forward in his work. Looking forward to riding him.
Champions Way, Regan, you'd be happy to jump back on board him?
Yeah, most definitely. Obviously, he showed us that he's a rising star last season. Obviously, first up run maybe it looked a bit disappointing. But they seemed to roll along really quick in that racing, not much made ground, and also he was first up. I think he's got a long campaign ahead of him. I like him at the mile and second up, and he's drawn a nice barrier also, so hopefully he can bounce back.
You won on him last season when he was just working his way through the grades. You've ridden a lot of good horses in your time. When you won on him, did he feel like an up-and-coming type?
Yeah, most definitely. I think he's the real deal. Obviously, he might have had a few people jump off him off last start, but as I said, I wouldn't worry about that. He's in very good hands with John Size, and I'm sure he'll bounce back.
Good standing, Neil. You rode him last time out behind Encouraging. What do you make of his chances for Saturday?
Yeah, look, he's a very straightforward horse. He's very easy to deal with. He's got a lot of class. He gave a good run last time, which I expected. I didn't expect the Encouraging to go that fast and keep going. But, at the 300 to 250, I thought I'd just run past him. But I had noticed early on in the race that my saddle had gone back quite a long way. By the time I got to the winning post, I think even at the 100, I was wondering whether it was going to stay intact. But luckily it did, and he was encouraging and he stayed on to run second. But, when I pulled up on him, like the saddle was so far around his lines, like I don't know how he even got to finish the race off. So, look, he's stepping up to a mile, he's won over a mile. He's very, very straightforward. He's got good gate speed. He's going to position himself up well, and hopefully he can maintain his form and give me a good sight.
And to ride for John Moore, you've been a decent enough partnership this season.
Yeah, we've had a good run. Horses are running well. A couple of winners, a couple of nice winners as well. Long may it continue.
LOBO'S legend, Neil, a horse who was a Group 1 winner in South Africa. Is he starting to find his form and feet here in Hong Kong?
Yes, he is. His form at he raced majority at in Class 2, obviously at Shatin, and he's been running okay races and not so good races. When the draw goes against him and he has to go back too far, then he relies on the pace, and if it doesn't work out, he's just quite not mentally there. But you can see a couple of his runs at the end of last season that he was running up to a good level of form. He's come out this season and he's run one good race for me over 1400 where he got the right track into the race, hit the line quite strong. And then, you know, I kept suggesting to David, like, you know, I thought he was a tailor-made horse for Happy Valley. And we had a bit of a disagreement, but anyway, I got my way. I ran him a Happy Valley and he just got beat. So it was a good run, but it meant that it pushed him back up into Class 2 where I couldn't ride him. And then I just found this race for him. The rating band was good, made sure that he had my weight. So we're just going to roll with it. And look, we know he handles Shatin. It's just that he needs the tempo and the right run and everything in that, and we know he can run at the form. So hopefully it's the right call.
His Group 1 win in South Africa was over 1,800 metres. You step up with him to 1,400 metres on Saturday. What do you think his best trip is?
Me personally, I think he's a 1,200 metre horse. If you look at his South African form, all his best form has been over 11 to 1,200. And I think when he won his 1,800 metre Group 1, because he had natural gate speed, he just landed up on the speed. He sat there, he sat, and then he just sprinted away from them. And he hasn't gone 1,800 since or before. So, look, I just put it down to being the best horse in an ordinary Group 1 over 1,800. But for me in Hong Kong, I think he's going to be a sprinter.